Hi friends, welcome back. Today we will be focusing on ELA Unit 1B, Lesson 2. If you'll follow along, I'll read our learning intention and how we'll be successful. We are learning to identify main ideas using key details. We will be successful when we can identify how nonfiction is organized into sections, explain the details of a small portion of text, and use details to infer the main idea of a text. Now, I just want to pause for a second, friends. Are there any words in the learning intention that we already know and understand? That's right, main ideas. We now know that main idea is mostly what the text that we're reading is about. Are there any other words? Key details, okay? So key details, those are kind of like the legs on that stool. They help support what we believe to be the main idea that we find within the text. How about this word identify? Do you understand what that word means? If you don't, I'll give you a clue. When you identify something, that means you find the solution or the answer and you're able to tell what it is. That's what identify is. Good. I wanted to share with you again our anchor chart for main idea because it's important to remember, friends, that main idea is what the text is mostly about. If I was reading an article about the lives of rabbits, do you think that they would throw anything in there about giraffes? Probably not. And we have to make sure we focus on those clues and key details to help us understand and support what we believe the main idea to be. And always remember that symbol in your mind of that stool. The four legs support the main idea. So I'm looking for details that support that main idea. Here are some vocabulary words for today's reading. Waxing moon. The moon appears bigger on its way to becoming a full moon. Quarter moon. When you see half of the lighted moon, it is 1/4 of the entire moon's surface. And that word right here, sphere, it's a geometrical term for something that is round. Crescent moon, the sliver of moon you see in the first or last quarter. And do you remember from yesterday what we kind of connected a sliver with other than the moon? That's right, a sliver of cheese. How many of you like cheese? I do. All right, let's start on page 48. You follow along as I read, please. Here we go. As the moon goes around Earth, it is sometimes between Earth and the sun. The dark half of the moon is facing us. We cannot see any of the lighted moon. This is called new moon. Page 49. A night or two later, the moon has moved a little bit along its path around Earth. We can then see a small part of the lighted half. It is called a crescent moon. We see it just after sunset. It is in the west where we see the sun go down. You may be able to see it before the sky is dark. Sometimes you can see it in the daytime. Let's pause there. How many of you have seen the moon in the daytime? I see some hands going up. I've been out at recess in the afternoon with my friends and look up the sky and I see the moon. And when I was younger, sometimes I'd even think, why is there a moon in the sky? And I even think about that now. Why is there a moon in the sky in the daylight? Interesting. So looking at these two pages, there's a lot of key details. Are there some times when the moon is not visible to us? I agree with you, there is. And what part of the text on these two pages helps you discover that? Yeah, did you look at the bottom of page 48 at the pictures with the captions? I see a person looking at the moon, a person here looking away. And if you read the captions, this one on the left, dark side of the moon facing us, so we cannot see it. New moon, not in the night sky, so we cannot see it. So if there's a new moon, we cannot see it. Nice job. Each night, the moon seems to grow. The moon is waxing. Remember, it gets bigger. We can see a bit more of the lighted half. About a week after the moon is new, it has become a first quarter moon. It looks like this. Sometimes you can see it in the afternoon before the sky is dark. That explains why I can see it at recess. How about you? How do the diagrams support the main idea of the moon seems to change? So remember, up here at the top, these are our diagrams. How do they support the main idea that the moon seems to change? That's right. They show as the moon is going around Earth and Earth's perception, if we put a person right here where the arrows are, what we could see or not see. And then the text helps us understand that when the moon is new, waxing, we kind of start to see a little bit more of the lighted half. But when it becomes a first quarter moon, sometimes we can see it in the afternoon. So it really supports that the moon is changing. I'll continue. After another week, the moon is on one side of Earth and the sun is on the other side. We can see all the lighted half of the moon. It is a full moon. We see it in the east as the sun sets in the west. We can't see it in the daytime. Each night after it is full, we see less and less of the moon. The moon is waning. So remember, as it gets smaller, that we call that waning, and as it gets bigger to us, we call that waxing. In about a week, it is a quarter moon. This is the third quarter. It can be seen after midnight. Let's pause there. There are some illustrations at the bottom. How do these illustrations help support the main idea about the changing of the moon? Yeah, the illustrations kind of gives us some perception of where things are when we look up at the moon and what we see and what we don't see. If you look at the campers, if they look over here, they're looking up at the moon, and remember it's waning, so it's getting smaller, that's right, and they're seeing the quarter of the moon. Nice job. All right, we'll stop there for today, friends. Here are your discussion questions again to be prepared for class today. Remember to try and use evidence from the text when you're giving an explanation to a friend or your teacher. Your assignment today should be pretty fun. Your teacher will have it up in Seesaw for you. You're going to be a fact finder. You're going to click on Add Response, and then you're going to click on the T tool, okay? And then you're going to move the spotlight around to uncover. Right here's the spotlight. You're going to uncover 5 facts. And then you're going to click on the microphone and tell what you discovered. What were those 5 facts about the moon? And we're going to consider those 5 facts the key details to the main idea that we're reading about right now. Can you do it? I know you can. Good luck. Let's peek back at our learning intention today. We are learning to identify main ideas and key details. You guys did an awesome job with that with this section of the story. And you will be successful when you can identify how nonfiction is organized into sections. Did you notice today's sections were organized? That's right. They were organized by this different types of moons throughout the month. Explain the details of a small portion of the text. You did that. And then use details to infer the main idea of a text. We really haven't practiced that one yet, but you will. This word infer means to inference, and we'll talk more about that next time. All right, friends, we'll call that a wrap for today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget to read for at least 20 minutes today for fun, for whatever you would like to read. See you tomorrow, friends. Have a good day.